Welcome to the About You Fashion Week talks. I'm sitting here together with Julian, who is the creator and inventor of the Fashion Week. Hi Julian, please introduce yourself.
Thanks, Tarek. Hi, I'm Julian. I'm since 7 years at About You and I'm the content director. And our team is doing like content development, stuff like the About You Award, the About You Fashion Week, About You concerts, etc. So all the things where we can tell stories and do big points for our brand.
Great. Please give us a bit of a background of the About You Fashion Week. When did it start and what was the reason behind starting the About You Fashion Week?
Right. Well, the Fashion Week was always a kind of difficult topic in the branch, especially in Berlin, because 2017, 18, Zalando tried to do it in a way with the bread and butter, etc. Then they went out. And we thought, hey, it's time for something new in Germany, and to have a statement in fashion, especially in Germany, because we don't have that yet. So in 2019 we came with this idea to have the About You Fashion Week. To you, presented it and told you, well, let's give it a try. Let's have a synergy with the AYFW, with the Berlin Fashion Week, and use like their technical stuff and the logistics, etc. And try to do some open shows. 2 months later, we had the setup.
When was this? The first Fashion Week?
First
About You Fashion Week?
The first About You Fashion Week was in September 2019. And it was always clear we have this one big fashion show, the About You show, like the opening show, and then we have some brand shows. We wanted to invite like brands we are working with, like Adidas, etc. And so it was a complete new surrounding for us, and we went to agencies, figured some concept out, and 2 months later we did the first show. And we always had the boost that we wanted to try not only to show fashion the audience, but to have a message in there. And it was always, as we do it at About You, we are always like tackling the norms. This is why we said, hey, the fashion shows are so exclusive, are only for the hyped persons and the press and the supermodels who are sitting in the front row. We want to have the normal people at the Fashion Week and want to democratize it. So that's why we said we have a new topic for the Fashion Week, and that's exclusive for everyone. And that's how it started 2 years ago.
Maybe for the audience, I mean, it started in September 2019, so before COVID. In the first episode, we had how many, 10,000 people or so over a couple of days on the location, and had the concept that everybody can participate in the fashion show and can have the experience of watching a fashion show, and with a bit of luck even sitting front row. And we were selling tickets for I think €10 per ticket or something, so quite affordable, and people who bought a ticket could see one show as well as the experience area where a lot of brands presented themselves. And this was our idea of democratizing the fashion space and not having an exclusive show with just invited guests, as it's usually the case, but to open it up. And unfortunately, Corona came, and now we're sitting here with an exclusive event just as invited guests. But due to the hygiene measures, we are limited in capacity. Can you maybe elaborate on the last Fashion Week episode that we had, which was basically it was a pure production. We had no guests at all because we were not allowed to have guests. And then this year we have up to 300 guests per show, I believe, 350 guests per show, so quite limited still. But maybe starting with the last episode, what was the motto of the last episode?
So the last episode was in January 2021, so this year. And we always wanted to do it hybrid, so it should be a production, but also with some audience. But then, due to pandemic reason, we couldn't do audience at all. And the topic was pretty edgy. It was the end of fucking fashion. So we said it is time to tell the world out there it's not like buying fashion and doing fashion in all the ways is not always the best positive way in dealing with that. So yeah, we talked about recycling stuff, we talked about upcycling, we talked about second-hand pieces, and we did a whole show which was very artistic, where we showed yeah, how the end of fucking fashion would look like.
Yeah, great. And then coming to this year, what is the motto of this year?
This year's motto is, of course, a message what is pretty big in social media right now. It's the freedom of identity. So it's yeah, all about the genderness. So people always think black and white. So there is male and there is female, but it's not like that. It's more fluent. So there are persons in between, and it's time to rethink that and rethink that a girl is pink and a boy is blue. Yeah, that's what we wanted to show, to get the message in diversity, what is in our heart, in our DNA from About You at its best.
And maybe for the audience, so we usually have a topic, which is freedom of identity, and then this topic shall be in basically every show that is presented. So not just the About You opening show, but also the several brand shows that follow. But on the other hand, we always also have a kind of a slogan on the topic in our About You opening show. Today is Sunday, yesterday was Saturday, and yesterday we had our opening show. Can you maybe tell a bit about our opening show yesterday? What have we seen there? What was the topic there? What was the slogan?
The slogan was, "Who are you?" So that's the most easiest interactive way to find out, like, to tackle this topic. So if you think about it, so who I am, it's not an easy question for everybody, and you can play this question pretty smart on social media, on TikTok, etc. What we are doing right now, having a lot of interviews. You always have a topic to talk about when you're talking to influencers, etc. So yeah, and yeah, yesterday was the opening show with a huge production company, with Villa Eugénie, one of the or the biggest fashion show company in the world. And yeah, it was magic. It was something people didn't expect, I think. It was not the typical show, but that's the DNA of our opening show. It shall never be the typical fashion show where we just see models wearing outfits. It's more about, like, the human being in its diverse aspect on steroids, and yeah, and bringing this message to life.
Yeah, I mean, what I always find amazing, and I have to say I'm not involved in the whole conception phase, so I'm kind of as surprised as usually the guests are when seeing the show. I obviously know kind of the direction we are taking, but what I find always amazing is, first of all, seeing kind of this diverse set of models, the gender fluently, I would say. Then in terms of outfits, combining second-hand, upcycled outfits, in-season products, as well as basically patched and upcycled, or yeah, premiumized products, I would say. You see men that wear products that, you know, would typically be clustered as women's products and vice versa. This is really cool, and and the whole setting, I mean, was amazing. It was a crazy stage. There was foam all over the place. There was a guy doing kind of an opera singer, and it was, as you described it, this was my impression, and also the feedback I got from all the people that attended the show was like magical. It was unseen, something that would have never been expected in Berlin. That is on the where the benchmark is rather Milan or Paris, and things you usually don't see in Germany. And you already mentioned our partner that we have won for this show, which was Villa Eugénie. Can you maybe elaborate maybe a bit on that collaboration and who this agency is actually?
Yeah, when we were thinking about the opening show, we always at About You think very big, to have like big points in the communication. So we looked at who who are the biggest companies, who is doing the biggest shows. And there is Villa Eugénie, who is doing all Chanel shows, all Dior shows, Versace, everything, all the big brands. And Villa Eugénie is a little agency who has an office in Paris and Milan, and the owner is Etienne. And Etienne is a mastermind on its work. And we pitched for them, so we presented us as a company and told them what we want and what we need. And the first question from Etienne was, well, when I do a Dior show, it's an honor when people after the show come to me and tell me, hey, that was really Dior, and everybody knows what it's about. And he said, I don't know yet what means this was really about you. So, and then we said, hey, we want to define that with you, to make such a big show, and to have this bold message with Who Are You? And he was so inspired by that, that he came to Germany and looked at this place where we are right now in the Kraftwerk, and then it went on. Then we went on the concept, and he was always thinking of yin and yang. So this is a very hard bunker location, and he said the only thing he want to have is foam. So he needs yin, the feminine stuff, and the boldness, and he want to make it very light. And and from that day on, we started to work 24/7 with him and his team, and that was so much inspiring and took us to a complete new level in our production, in our fashion weeks, etc. And with this show, we definitely play the world level of fashion shows.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I was really pleased and happy to hear from so many international celebrities and models like Karolina Kokova and many others that have attended shows all over the world, I would say, and that really know how this industry works. And they said this was really great, unseen and absolutely on an international level. I think what was new this year was that we also had a lot of international guests and celebrities here. About You is now active in 26 countries, 26 European countries, and we have invited people from more or less every country that we are active in, and try to really invite the largest influencers and celebrities from all over the place. And that was also special because I think so far our events have usually been very German, also from the audience. The largest German celebrities were there. They already knew us, they knew what we are doing, but this year I have the feeling a lot of well, it's not my feeling, I know that a lot of international celebrities are here, and it's their first About You event that they attended. So they didn't know what to expect, and they were really amazed by the show and the whole setting and the way how About You events usually work, with this crazy red carpet and crazy press and people like posting from that event, and everything being both Instagrammable but also nice and cool and a good vibe also on the location, because we don't just want to have Instagrammable things, but we actually want to give people a great time in the location. I think this is so cool to see so many international influencers and celebrities attending an About You event for the first time and experiencing what for us already is a bit normal, having this craziness in the content, this Instagrammableness in the location, and then this cool vibe by the people that are actually there. Speaking of internationalization, etc., what are the next steps for the About You Fashion Week? What can we expect of the Fashion Week in the next year?
Yeah, super important for the next shows is the internationalization. So it's such a challenge to come with these huge event who has a huge budget, as you know, to come to the other countries and to get the big influencers from the other countries set up in Berlin. And that's definitely the target, to make it international and to find a place in the international era of Fashion Week. So we are not the Berlin Fashion Week, we are not the Czech Fashion Week or the France Fashion Week, we are the About You Fashion Week. We don't have a destination of a country, we want to be the Fashion Week of a kind of a Gen Z, but which is bigger in a topic and storytelling and narrative as in only the fashion itself it has to present it. So yeah, this is our vision, and of course for that we need a big audience. Normally we would have 1,400 people in the audience. Right now we had 300 because of distances, etc. So this is of course that is always a kind of atmosphere and international feeling and touch if you have more people. So this is the goal as well. But yeah, to tackle the standard Fashion Week business, I would say.
Cool. Yeah. So to summarize it, we will not go smaller in terms of partners.
We never did.
But we probably have a bit more preparation time next time. So usually I have the same procedure on every event that we say, oh, we had too little preparation time. We want to travel with the About You Fashion Week, so we are not set in Berlin. Our idea is really to travel with the Fashion Week and to bring it to other cities, to also make a clear statement that this is an international event, and we always try to get in as many international celebrities as possible from all the countries that we are working in. We will continue to have bold messages and tackle society topics such as freedom of identity, such as sustainability in fashion, as the end of fucking fashion last year. So we're going to continue to do this, and what we also obviously continue to do is try to include our brand partners as best as possible. Brand partners being the brands that have their own shows. We have a lot of brands hosting their own shows, and it has massively grown. In the first Fashion Week, we started with 2 days and I believe 6 shows or something. Now we are 5 days, and including the opening show and many more shows that we have now. So we're really proud. 12 shows. Yeah, really proud about the growth and the quality also of the shows. And I think that's also a sign of the success also for our brand partners, that we managed to grow the number of shows. We want to continue to grow the number of shows, so all fashion brands are happily invited to host their own show within the About You Fashion Week. It's a great platform, I believe, to communicate the message of the brand under the umbrella of the topic, freedom of identity, this year and next time, obviously another topic, and also to make use of the infrastructure that About You builds here. I mean, we are investing heavily in the stage and in the technique, in the production quality. We have like cameras, the stage design, stage production. This is something that usually you don't find on the normal fashion weeks, because we are heavily investing in that, and actually brands for a very kind of comparably low price can actually make use of the whole infrastructure that we built. Plus we bring the reach through the influencers and celebrities that also attend the brand show. So I think it's the perfect platform for all fashion brands to be part of the About You Fashion Week and present their own brand and make use of the infrastructure and reach that the About You umbrella basically brings, as well as brand partners that we have outside of our own kind of supplier and brand base. We also have a couple of brand partners in liquor, in beauty, in home living, and adjacent fields. So also for every non-fashion brand that want to present themselves in a lifestyle-y environment, I think it's the perfect place, because next to the brand shows that we are hosting and the About You opening show, we always have an experience area. So there's an area that people attend before the show and after the show and usually really enjoy. And this is in the experience area is the perfect spot where brands, both from the fashion space as well as from the non-fashion space, can present themselves and also again make use of the whole influencer and celebrity crowd that is on the ground anyway. So it's the easiest way, because you save the travel costs to celebrate and market your own brand basically by using the influencer that are attending the event anyways.
Yeah, it's a perfect framework. And maybe we have to highlight, of course, right now with Villa Eugénie, I mean, every brand show who is here with Adidas, Lascana, etc., they are using a set from Villa Eugénie right now. They are having the perfect platform to express who are you. And we are, of course, consulting. We're having talks with the brands and tell them what can we do to bring your brand on this platform. It's more like a campaign they are doing with us. It's not a typical fashion show. They are just showing their fashion pieces. They are in this world as well. And we are very thankful that so many brands and a lot of brands standing in line. They want to join this journey with us and trust us, of course, in Inscenation, etc.
Yeah. Cool, great. Many thanks for attending, Julian, and for elaborating. Thanks for listening.
Thank you.
And hope to see you next Fashion Week then. Bye-bye.
Bye.